Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are so glad you joined us talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, Casey Kane, and Dylan Cisney going to join us to chat a little bit. But, wow, we're in recovery mode after that weekend
You're
in
not
Jackson.
kidding.
Holy mackerel.
That was a lot. And I'm not used to that sleep schedule.
Well, yeah, that outlaw sleep schedule is a little bit different than what we're used to. Yeah, you're right about that. I am telling you, Erin, that we are back. Erin, Evernham, Steve Post, Wing Nation. We did live shows last week. It was Minnesota Mafia, Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, up at the 41st Annual AGCO Jackson Nationals. And we are back, and I am telling you, 3 nights of World of Outlaw NOS Energy Sprint Car Racing and 3 really good nights of racing. And all of the shenanigans that go along with it. I don't know how our guys do it all the time.
I don't know either. But that event, I know if you've listened to our shows over the weekend, it's something we talked about every night, how much it has grown in the few years we've gone. Like the fans, the events around the track, I mean, it has exploded.
I can't even, you can't even process what all we did. I mean, it was just go here, go here, go here. And they were all fun and it was a blast. And, you know, and we just, you know, the Q&A sessions over at the Racing Hall of Fame, the 5K was great. I had to carry Erin half the way, you know, because she's not in as good a shape as I am, but you know.
Up Ashley Street.
Yes, so the 5K. Okay, let me tell you about this. The 5K, now it's like 97 degrees during the afternoon, so it was a nice cool 92 when we ran it, and about 178% humidity. Okay, and so we ran off the fairgrounds, which were great, and when they said, we have to go down into Jackson, I'm like, wait a minute, that's downhill, which that's fine. But the problem is it ended back up on the fairgrounds. So we go out of the fairgrounds, go down this street, and of all streets, it's called Ashley Street. So we go down this street, and it's fine. Okay?
Yeah, it's great downhill.
Except for knowing that we have to come back up this street, okay? And it's a nice little park, Ashley Park down there. Yeah. Beautiful. The downtown Jackson is great. So we were cussing Ashley. And not Stremmy, not our co-host on the MAV show, but we were cussing Ashley
that hill.
Street.
It was the never-ending hill.
It never ended.
You go around a corner, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, we drove back up it after we went down to Hog Heaven. Yeah, we went to Hog Heaven. Honestly, you want to talk about some good heats. Oh, man. You want to talk about who was in Hog Heaven, and Hog Heaven was our producer, Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, he's thinking about moving to Jackson just to live in one of those apartments above that restaurant. That's how good that was. So, but, you know, I guess you realize it when you walk. But when we drove up it, it was like, well, I came around this. Yeah, you come around this corner, and you come around this corner, and it's still uphill, And then the fairgrounds ain't as quite as flat as we all thought it was either.
Yeah. Like, we're back.
Yeah.
No, you still have a hill.
We still have a hill to go up. But it was fun.
Yeah.
The whole week was good. We cannot thank our friends, the Minnesota Mafia. I love hanging out with those guys. They're just
Taco Tom.
Gals, Taco Tom, and the guys and gals, they're phenomenal. Dryden, one of our sponsors, helped guide us up there. It was great. Todd and Luke Queering. I mean, you want to talk about the red carpet.
Yeah.
Okay. Doug Johnson, the general manager there, but really, Erin, as great as they were, everybody there.
Everybody we came across.
You get in the yellow, you get off the yellow, you go to the concession, you go here, you park your car, you're here. Thanks for coming. Great having you here. Great to see you. Great to see you.
They're bringing food trays, you name it.
It's like, my gosh, what a wonderful spot. I mean, they just really treat people well, and the event was phenomenal. The racing was phenomenal, and we're in a unique spot because we go do the shows and we have some perks that we get along with that. But it's obvious with the crowd growing like it is, we're not the only ones that think this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, agree, 100%.
I mean, it was, and that crowd rolling in there, even Thursday night with the rain and everything.
Saturday night, packed.
Ay. So So tip of the cap to everybody at Jackson. Oh my gosh, 41st annual Agco Jackson Nationals. What an event. All right, let's get to it. Our classic ink, screen printing, and embroidery, our hot topics. And I think this is the third week in a row. In fact, we're just going to call this the classic ink, screen printing, and embroidery, hot topics, and Brad's sweet highlight films. Because, I mean, it is unreal to watch this team go.
I mean, that car, I think Brad himself, they are on it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we have Casey calling up.
Mm-hmm.
We always like to get the winner on if the race. We've talked to Brad Sweet like 62 times here this year. I mean, that's no offense.
Yeah.
We love Brad.
You can only ask him the same question so many times.
And so I said, Craig and I, we were talking about this on Monday morning, and I said, maybe the crew chief wants to come on. The crew chief didn't want to talk. I don't blame him. I don't want to talk to me anyhow either, So we got Casey coming on. So we're going to find out an update on Casey, where he's at with his recovery. And I just want to talk to him about when you sit and watch your team, what is that like?
Yeah.
He almost has to feel like I'm sitting watching what we've seen out of the 15 car, except for this is mine now.
Yeah, and he's given so much back to our sport.
Oh my God.
To see him get to that level now, that's cool.
It is really, really
very
neat. So we're going to talk to Casey. Brad Sweetie won the preliminary night on Thursday. Brad has been on the program talking about working the inside of the racetrack. Mm-hmm. He showed us a clinic on Thursday night on working the bottom of a speedway.
He sure did.
I mean, it was great. And then Saturday night, picked up the win in the finale, $41,000. So, yes, I would say that qualifies as a hot topic, okay? Not to be done on the conversation, though, dust-ups, okay? We go to Lincoln.
That's what we call them now, dust-ups.
Yes, dust-ups, exactly, yes.
A little more than dust-ups.
I was a little more than the dust. Both of them were, okay? On the East Coast, at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, Danny Dietrich and Brian Monteith get into a dust-up. Monteith goes head over, and the crowd goes wild. I mean, first off, it's Dietrich. Second off, it's Monteith.
Yep.
Third, it's contact. Then it's insane. We're sitting there at Jackson, and the next thing you know, the Twitter machine just blows up.
Yeah.
So then we roll along. We kind of get things settled down a little bit in Pennsylvania, and our buddies on the West Coast, Dominic Selzy and Shane Golobic, have a dust up.
Very similar dust up.
Very similar dust up. Yes, exactly. And someone posted though on Twitter, and someone posted about this. If everyone's talking about pay-per-view, there is a segment, and I'll be completely honest with you. I was anti-pay-per-view up until the last couple of years, but as I watch this thing, I'm like, I'm pro pay-per-view. But someone posted, if you're anti-pay-per-view, then how come everybody in the country was talking about Pennsylvania or California, and everyone's talking about California now, a dust up out there? We're all talking about Dominic Selsby, Shane Golobic, Danny Dietrich, and Brian Monteith. Yeah. And none of them run with the World of Outlaws at the spectacular Jackson Nationals.
And 90% of us weren't there that night.
Exactly. So, just amazing. So, yeah, there was some high-profile dust-ups. Whew. Yes, there was. Okay.
Dust-ups. I like that. It sounds a lot better than...
So, when they got done dusting up out at Petaluma, Chase Johnson picked up the win. I chatted with this kid out at Millbridge earlier this year. I kind of want, we might want to grab him for our podcast or something. He just has got a fabulous story. There's some bad stuff that happened in the past, and the good stuff was he picks up wins like he did on Saturday night with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour. Pennsylvania Speed Weeks. Okay. Now, I belong to this Speed Week pool that Lonnie Wheatley does. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done because it showcases my complete ignorance, okay? And I've known it, and I acknowledge it. I know nothing about what I'm talking about, okay? So if you're sitting here, Erin, and we say the winners of Pennsylvania Speed Week races, okay, Lance Deweese, we'll get that one. Yeah. Okay, we expect that.
Shocker.
Okay. There. Chad Trout at Lincoln. Now, Chad's won at Lincoln before, but I'm not sure we pencil him in for a Speed Week win. Yeah. Dylan Cisney, maybe Port Royal, but Selinsgrove. Yeah. No, we don't pencil that one in. Lincoln, Brian Monteith. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
It's just Pennsylvania Speedway. And then last night, all of the big boys moved in.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And then Monteith just sends them packing. After working on his race car, after it got all twisted up. And then Monteith says, no, we're done. We'll be back on Friday night. My guys are going to the beach. They've worked their tail off and everything. So, but Pennsylvania Speed Week has been phenomenal, as advertised, as expected. Mm-hmm. It never disappoints, and here we are again. And the Christopher Bells, the Kyle Larsons, the Ricos, they're all there for the next night or two. And I'm telling you, Pennsylvania Speed Week has been phenomenal. It's been really, really good. Speed Shift has a lot of those races. ASCS National Tour. Okay, last week we talked to our buddy Robbie Price. Mm-hmm. Okay, picked up the win, youngest winner to win the Dirt Cup. Well, they go down to Grace Harbor. Devin Border, 16-year-old racer, picks up the first. He becomes the youngest to win an ASCS National Tour race, a record that was previously held by Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Wow.
Are you freaking kidding me? So, I mean, that's great. So, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour wrapping up. Well, they're not wrapping up their West Coast. They got a week off. Then they do the Grizzly Nationals, where someone gets to hang with the bear, Buddy the Bear, or whatever the bear's name is. So, Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery. Great for hats, for towels, for sweatshirts, for hoodies, or whatever you want. www.classicinkusa.com. We were up at Jackson, and we saw some spectacular racing, including this battle on Friday night for the second spot. Darren Pittman, Logan Schuhart, Ian Madsen, all battling it out. It was on Dirt Vision. Austin Lloyd, the track announcer with Johnny Gibson, had the call all weekend long. It's our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Come on, Pittman down the back straightaway, ties to the inside at 3 and 4. Schuhart looking for second as they go side by side out of the fourth corner. Wheel to wheel, wing to wing into turn number 1. Schuhart to the inside, and he's going to throw the slide job in Darren Pittman, and they nearly get together. Pittman back to his inside. Ian Madsen right there as well. Now Madsen slides underneath Schuhart, clips the 3 spot. Now Schuhart back around his outside. What a great battle for second, third, and fourth.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Check out the premier Shark Wing as well as other sprint car wings and components. Sprint car, mini and micro sprint wings, and the HRP Original Recess Rivet Wing. All HRP wings are wind tunnel tested. HRP carries a full line of affordable, top-of-the-line, USA-built sprint car components. Shop online for all this and more at hrpracing.com. The Racer's Choice, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
The Win a Z06Corvette.com sweepstakes to benefit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is underway. Go to WinAZ06Corvette.com to find out how you can win the Torch Red 2019 Z06 Corvette that is on display now in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The winner will be announced Saturday night, August 10th during the 59th Annual Knoxville Nationals. Visit WinAZ06Corvette.com to win this awesome ride.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our street.
This is Paul McMahon, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
Thank you, Paul. It is Wing Nation. We love to talk about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, turn number 2, right on the famed Marion County Fairgrounds in Knoxville, Iowa. Let's talk about it on the birthday calendar. Gene Nibel later this week, Johnny Parsons Sr., Don Mack, one of the Minnesota drivers, actually, Saturday night birthday, Al Cotton Farmer. Today would have been the birthday of George Bentel. He's a 2010 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Born in, I typed that one totally wrong because it wasn't 1976. I think it was 1889, if I'm not mistaken. And he died February 27th, 1952. He was a Los Angeles automobile dealer, loved racing, restored and built all kinds of unique cars out there, and all of the movie stars of that day loved his creation.
Wow.
Well, I said he loved racing. He got involved in the mid-teens with the Ascot Raceway, okay, and actually built what is known now as the Ascot Park. There was a track, there was a board track, and what was known as, and he did it until 1927. He also fielded the Mercer racing team mid to late teens and had a lot of success with that. Quite the character, had some brushes with the law, had some brushes with some skipped out purses, had some all kinds of stuff. I mean, he was kind of the quintessential promoter of the time. But certainly worthy because of building the Ascot Park or Ascot Park that famed racetrack. He is Hall of Fame worthy and was inducted in 2010. So George Bentel, one of the great inductees into the Hall of Fame, and just really, really neat. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, they've got to be gearing up this week for the big Corn Belt Nationals. I mean, Bob Baker's got it, probably sweeping up all the, getting ready for all the excitement and everything.
I'm sure.
I am telling you.
They got their big raffles going on.
Right, and it's the salute to A.J. Foyt. So talk about USAC. That is so perfect for this weekend with the Corn Belt Nationals out at Knoxville. So I'm sure he's getting all the suites, probably making sure all the refrigerators are working. They're in the 3G spot. Got to make sure the refrigerators are working.
Yeah, sounds like ticket sales have been very well
This
received.
sounds like a really good thing. What I like the Friday night, the 360s get a chance to run with the USAC cars. And on Saturday night, the 410s.
Yeah, I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, I like they're doing that too. So I just think that if you're sitting out there somewhere in the Midwest, this Corn Belt Nationals is great. And when you go there, check out the Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I just love the idea of having USAC there. For so many years, everyone thought the Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Knoxville was just for wing sprint car racing.
No.
I just love, especially the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. They've gotten a lot of people saying that because it's on the Knoxville Fairgrounds.
Which is the home of the Knoxville Nationals. Yeah.
So, like you said,
there's a lot of traditional stuff there. It's fantastic.
And then bringing USAC, making sure they have a big event there. I love the idea.
Yeah, the Corn Belt Nationals. That's going to be, and that's one that we just need to batten down the hatches because that's one of those.
Yeah.
Knoxville has these. Knoxville's known for big events. This thing is rapidly
Huge
becoming
potential.
a big event.
Yep.
Yeah, holiday weekend. So I mean, and I know that Kendra can plan a party.
Yeah, I think it starts off with fireworks and a concert.
Yes, I think so too. So great stuff. Hey, speaking of traditional sprint cars, we'll get on. Dylan Cisney's on the line. Speaking of traditional sprint cars, I want to tip my cap also to Dylan Welch and Tyler Burnett.
Yes.
Their 50th episode of Rip the Fence. So if you like traditional sprint cars, Rip the Fence. You can find it where all podcasts are. Those boys, I remember we sat in a conference room here
Seems
talking
like it was
about
not long ago.
I know. Those boys have just tore it up with that thing. They do a great job. So tip of the cap, and make sure that you're listening to Wing Nation, but make sure you're listening to Rip the Fence as well. They do it in podcast form, and there's some great conversations on there. Some characters over on that side of the spectrum, for sure. All right, let's go to it. It is the Red Brand Fence Hotline, and joining us fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane at Selinsgrove on Sunday night. Now, a little rougher outing last night at Lincoln, not quite as well, but I'll tell you, Dylan Cisney's got to be fun to be in the middle of Speed Weeks, and we appreciate him joining us. Dylan, welcome into Wing Nation, man.
Hey, thanks for having me back on.
All right, Dylan, I had you penciled in to possibly win there at the home track at Port Royal. I'm not sure I had you penciled in to win Selinsgrove. Tell us about that run on Sunday night.
Yeah, I don't think we had ourselves penciled in for that one. But I don't know. We struggled really the first two nights. I didn't really do anything at the Grove, and really we struggled down at Lincoln. And we rolled off the trailer Sunday, and after struggling two nights, and then at Lincoln, boy, it felt good to get on a big track again, and we just rolled good off the trailer, and we qualified good was the main thing. That's what's the tough here. We just haven't really been qualifying the best, and got the front row of a heat and a good redraw for the feature, and just had a great car all night. A little good luck along the way in the feature, and somehow we wound up in Victory Lane.
Yeah, you sure did. Dylan, talk about the track surface. It looked like it took rubber, but when I watched, there was actually multiple lanes. I haven't raced at Selinsgrove in a long time, and you even mentioned your tires were bald at the end. So can you just explain to me a little bit about the track surface?
Yeah, for the longest time, now we haven't really ran Selinsgrove a whole lot, even though it's close to home, but it always kind of seems sandy and abrasive and a little bit hard to get a hold of, but they put some new clay on. It's more of a red clay, and it kind of blew off in hot laps, but it got real nice and slick. It was a little bit one lane through the heats in the bottom to the middle, but then right before the feature, they put some water on the top, and it got real wide and clean, and it was really a lot like a Port Royal surface, and it was up on the fence for the longest time there when we were running in second, and Tony was kind of moving around behind me, so I knew the bottom was working in there, and then right after the red flag there, they told me to jump down to the bottom, and that's when I found some rubber down there. So it was kind of a guessing game on where to go, but really it was a really nice surface. That was probably the best I thought Selinsgrove's ever raced that I've been there. So hopefully they keep that going, and they'll have some good races for the rest of the year there.
I think so. I love that Selinsgrove. That you're a student of the racing up there. Pretty nice for Selinsgrove to be the third race and not the last race when everyone's exhausted too. I gotta figure there was a good crowd and everyone supporting that race.
Yeah, they had a great crowd there. Car count was okay. I was really expecting there to be more cars there, but yeah, I think the speeds really scared a couple people off there. That's Port Royal and Williams Grove are fast track, but Selinsgrove's really a fast track. It's more of an Eldora type, just wide open, whether it's slow or not. And yeah, they always get the short end of the stick being the last speed week show. So hey, it's nice to mix the schedule up a little bit once in a while and get them a good crowd.
Sure is. That Stewart guy has been around sprint car racing for a little while now, so it's nothing new for us to see him at the track, but it's still got to be really cool to beat Tony Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's one of my heroes and my role models growing up, and I've raced with him a lot, but it seems like every time I race around here with him, we're both struggling and we're racing for 20th, and I always thought, man, it'd be really cool to race each other for a win here. That'd really feel like we're doing something instead of struggling in the back, and yeah, we just had a good race back and forth there, and he got me, and luckily I just got him back through lap traffic for second, and it turns out that was the pass for the win. So that was just it was a pretty cool night. Then we both turned around. We both looked like we struggled down there last night. So I guess we're at least on track wherever he is for the week.
Well, if you're going to be around smoke, I guess you're doing all right. Are you running the whole speed week, Dylan? Are you planning on everything, or is there any break periods for you in this?
No, we originally we were going to do just Port Royal, then we were going to do the weekends, and somewhere along the line we said, well, we might as well just take off work and do the whole speed week for once. So I don't know who decided that, but we're in the middle of a Best Western parking lot right now trying to get some motor maintenance done and trying to fix some power steering leaks that we had last night. So I guess you take one good night and then take another bad one, and we'll head down the road to Grandview, see if we can do anything there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about a good night and then a bad night. The sport is certainly humbling. I know we talked to, I think it was Brad Sweet or someone was like, or maybe Brian Brown, whoever it was, they said, you're only as good as your last race. So if you're going to have some rainouts, you wish the last race was a win. And for you go the next night and have a tough night. But talk about that side of it. Like, the sport is humbling. We lose him?
Uh-oh.
Talked about his bad night.
Phone lines are humbling. Yeah. Phone lines. We've lost the phone lines. So we'll see if we can dial up Dylan here again and catch up with him. Okay. Dylan, Erin was just asking about the up and down humbling nature of this sport after Selinsgrove, then back to Lincoln. How do you manage that?
Wow, it's tough. You just got to kind of remind yourself. And sometimes there's really no rhyme or reason. You have a good night, and it's like when we went into Selinsgrove. It's not like we were coming off the hot streak of a bunch of top fives and good runs. It's just, hey, it was one of them nights where things clicked and you worked good. And then, just because you have a good night doesn't mean you're automatically going to have a good one the next. So last night we struggled, but, you just got to kind of work at it and make yourself better, but you can't read too much into it. You can't just beat your head against the wall, hey, why'd we struggle here? That's just how tough it is out here. And, last night we had a bad draw, and it's a track that I don't really go to, and I didn't put a good time trial lap down. And at a track like that, I'm not really going to be able to pull myself out of that hole. So we'll just move on, and we'll try and be better next time we go down there. And now we'll head to another track that I've never raced on before tonight. So we'll just throw something at it and try again.
That is amazing. I think one of the things that's fascinating me, and it's changed a little bit with Selinsgrove moving into where it has now, but that used to be Path Valley on that night. Mm-hmm. And Pennsylvania Speedway always struck me as you start at the Grove, but then you go to the short track season. With Lincoln, Path Valley, Grandview, you do that. Then you get to the big tracks. And you even alluded to it when you said it was nice to get on a big track at Selinsgrove. You do have to feel pretty good that once Grandview is cleared, then you got two Port Royal shows, a Williams Grove show, a Hagerstown. You do have to feel like if you can get over tonight's hurdle, then you get back to a little bit more familiar space where you can stretch your arms out and stretch your legs out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of thinking. But, hey, we'll go make laps. Obviously, the short tracks are what we got to get better on. So somehow we got to fit them into our schedule a little bit more. And, I said, hey, running about 10 years of just Port Royal only, I think really kind of ruined me for some of these other places because I just feel I feel like I'm making my first laps in a race car, some of these places we go to. So that's what we're trying to do this year. We're trying to get out here, and we're trying to run more races and get better. And hey, we got another track off the bucket list to get a win at. So we'll just keep trying to get better at them all.
Dylan, when you go to some of these new tracks, have you found, though, even though maybe you're uncomfortable at first and it feels like a new track, when you go back to Port Royal, do you notice a difference just racing with different competition and racing on different surfaces?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. You try and get out in hot laps maybe and find somebody that goes around there good. Maybe try and watch what they're doing and where they're putting the car. But really, so you just get out there and get the car comfortable. It's kind of like last night. We were trying to just find a base package for Lincoln, and yet I'm trying to just make decent laps around there myself. So then to be able to come in and tell the crew what I need, I think it's just going to take a couple of times of going there and a couple of consistent surfaces. We had 2 different surfaces pretty much from Saturday till last night. So it's it's a guessing game between the car, the tracks, and then you throw in the weather and the surface different each night. Definitely not easy, but the only way to get better is keep racing. So that's what we're going to have to do.
For sure. Well, Dylan, I was so happy to see you pick up that win on Sunday night at Selinsgrove. And I know, like I said, a little home cooking with Port Royal, 2 more shows coming up there. We wish you the best as you roll through Pennsylvania Speedway. Get back out there in that Best Western parking lot. The guys need some help getting that car turned around. But we wish you the best, and thanks for joining us here today.
All right. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you guys later.
There we go. Dylan Cisney. Man, what a good kid that is. We actually had a chance last year at Port Royal. Ashley and I went over to his shop, which is a block away from the racetrack, which is in the basement of his parents' house, basement of his house, parents, and it was it's just a family team. And it's so cool to see him out running like this.
I was going to say, to see him growing and trying new tracks and doing more races.
And racing with Tony Stewart for 20th or for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Great for Dylan Cisney. Hey, we need to step away. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for scheduled details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
Red Brand Fence, the most durable, dependable, and safest fence in the world. Top horse farms use Red Brand Fence to safeguard their equine investments. Cattlemen install it to ensure their cattle are safe. Racetracks around the world use it to protect spectators, fans, and crews. For over a century, Red Brand's quality has been used internationally for countless uses. Red Brand Fence, the most trusted name in fence. Explore our products at redbrand.com.
Get ready for the holiday weekend. If your check engine light is on, now's the time to find out why. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and let us scan your vehicle for free. We'll retrieve the codes, discuss solutions, and even help you find a professional technician if needed. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Terry McCarl. One has an engineering degree, the other has a degree in the science of beer consumption. You figure out who is which. Wing Nation on MRN.com.
It is Wing Nation. Thanks, T-Mac. Always good to see Terry hanging out at the racetrack. And he had some speed in his car. Particularly the first night, put himself in the dash. And always fun to catch up with T-Mac and pick his brain. We actually had a chance at the Agco Open House to pick his brain for a while.
Yeah.
And I love. He just has such a passion for this sport. And, just nothing that really is air to put on air, but just love chatting and chit-chatting and just follow along. He's such a student of promoting that it's fun to talk with him about different things.
And he's such a student of the history of
sport too. Yes, so really, really neat. Hey, speaking of the history of sport, we're trying to catch up with Casey Kane. But you know how it is with our race car drivers. They're out and about, and they're working on. I'm glad Dylan came out from under the race car in the Best Western parking lot to get. And so, but speaking of history, one of the really neat things, and you raced with the Empire Super Sprints some. They have, and I love what they do during the 4th of July week. They have their Central New York Speed Week.
Yeah.
And it starts tomorrow night. Can-Am Speedway. Thursday night, Canandaigua, or Land of Legends Speedway. It was Canandaigua to me. Brewerton Speedway Friday, Fulton Speedway on Saturday, New Utica Rome on Sunday. Did they have that when you raced with them, or did they have anything like that?
We did go to some of those tracks that weekend. It wasn't 4 or 5 nights. It might have been 3 or 4, but we went to Can-Am and Canandaigua, I think, and the others might have just switched around. But all of those tracks are great tracks.
They're mainstays for that series.
They're mainstays, and they're within a few hours. I mean, it's not like you're asking, a team to drive 4 or 5 hours each night. So
Good Lord,
I
you're
love
right.
that they're doing that.
You could, if you picked Syracuse, Can-Am is probably an hour.
Yeah.
Canandaigua was probably 45 minutes to an hour. Brewerton is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fulton is probably 35 or 40 minutes. Utica Rome is probably an hour.
Yeah.
From Syracuse. But I just love that they do this, the camaraderie on the road, the struggle of it has got to be a challenge. But they do it on a holiday weekend where more people have more time off so that they can plan accordingly.
Yeah, because it's a series where most of the drivers and teams have full-time jobs. They're not, making a living racing. So it's neat that they're giving them opportunity to have like a mini speed week.
Yeah, it really truly is. So if you're up in that area, hey, why don't you check out again? It's the Empire Super Sprints. Starts Wednesday night in Can-Am Speedway up in Lafargeville, up by the Thousand Islands. Thursday night, Land of Legends Speedway in Canandaigua. Friday night, Brewerton, the D-shaped demon, I think is what they used to call that at one time. Fulton Speedway, just a great track up there on Saturday night. And New Utica Rome, a great Sunday night racing track. And just fun stuff. And great racers up there in that series, too. I mean, it's just really a neat group of people.
I ran the series in 2002, and I had just a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And Utica Rome is actually the first place I ever drove a sprint car.
Really? Now, was that the big track or the shorter one now? Because there was a shorter one.
Oh.
It probably was the shorter. Well, no, I don't know. Because it's probably because.
It was the shorter one because the pits became
Pits
part
became
of
the, that's right.
Yeah,
The pits. No, I remember when that place got reconverted from asphalt to dirt. That was a monster. I mean, that was rolling wheel size.
Yeah, and then that became the pit area.
That became the pit area. That's right, yeah. So, hey, check it out. Our friends at the Empire Super Sprints running their Central New York Speed Week all week long. We do need to step away. Stay with us. More Wing Nation coming up in just a moment.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the World of Outlaws, and always American owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
When you purchase your parts at O'ReillyAuto.com, you can pick it up in-store when it's convenient for you. Your parts, tools, or accessories will be waiting at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. No shipping cost, easy returns, and convenient pickup. Shop O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
The Madman bringing us back. We're glad you joined us here. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. I'd like to remind you that Hercules Tires is giving away a free set of tires, okay? We just had the June drawing, okay? Or I think we just had the June drawing. And so it's July now. I know we're supposed to have the June drawing. So you got to get re-registered now. So you go to HerculesTires.com/MRN and get yourself a set of free Hercules tires, okay? So we have survived, okay, the road show at Jackson. Okay, now you get a little bit of a respite. I think your next one is Knoxville, right? But Ashley and I, we're headed to Hercules Tires Wing Nation at Eldora, coming up on July 18th through the 20th. We're going to be live from the Fan Zone each night, and the Kings Royal paying a whopping $175,000 to win. You know, that was one thing a couple drivers mentioned out of the blue. Not only the Kings Royal going to 175, but we also had the news that one of the races in August jumped up to 20 grand. But without even asking, some of the drivers said, it's good to finally see us racing for more and more money. And I know it's tough to do, but we had a couple drivers on our live shows.
There's a lot of drivers that mentioned
volunteered that openly.
Well, when you think about the purses for these races, they haven't changed much for a regular night show since I think I ran 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So you know that motor costs have gone up, tire costs have gone up, so it's nice to see them getting some of that back.
Starting to go forward with a lot of this stuff, and it really is. But it's moving a mountain, is what it is. And you know, and then fortunately we drop in places like Jackson that can do $41,000 to win and $3,000 to start.
You've got Tony and Roger, just huge mountain right there.
Exactly. Eldora's always done a good job, and that's where our big tracks, our Eldoras, our Knoxvilles, our Jacksons, our Williams Grove. Those places they're geared up to do a lot of this stuff. Port does their Tuscarora 50, obviously that's a big one, but it's good to see. It really truly is. So we're going there. Hey, if you need some Wing Nation gear, we had a bunch of people up at Jackson. We're grabbing the Wing Nation gear. You can get it this weekend on the All-Star trailer. So if you're at Lernerville or Sharon Speedway, you can get Wing Nation gear on the All-Star trailer, and anybody else can get it at www.wingnation.com. wingnation.com. And I want to mention, we talked about Sharon Speedway. They have the big Lou Blaney Memorial. So on Thursday, Dave Blaney's going to join us.
Yeah.
How about that? The old Buckeye Bullet going to join us on the podcast.
Yeah, he got a victory last weekend.
Yes, he did up there at Sharon. So we'll talk all things Blaney on our Thursday podcast. Coming up on Saturday, it's Wing Nation by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. And Brent Marks spent some time here in studio, him and I hanging out and talking. So we'll share that conversation with Brent Marks. That's MAV TV, 8:30 and 11:30 on Saturday morning. Hey, thanks everyone for joining us here on Wing Nation today.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.